But
Nerd.
one thing about Mickey 17 that people continue to point out is the character played by Mark Ruffalo is Trump. And,
Yes.
you know, it is 100% Trump. This is BS for him to say this. There are people in red hats portrayed to be stupid for following this guy. He lost the last 2 elections. They clearly, it is so much. This is why people were saying, I don't think Kingpin in Daredevil is you can read into it, but what happened in the comics.
It's not
happened in the
heavy-handed.
Daredevil series. This is an on the nose Trump parody. For him to not say that is really disingenuous, especially knowing Mark Ruffalo's very public disdain for Trump. Now, people got mad at, I think, me and Alan, or maybe just me last week, saying, why are you guys talking about politics? Because it's in the movie. If I see a movie and there's a topic that's in it, we will discuss it. I'm happy to not discuss it. But when it comes up, it needs to be discussed. I prefer, like to just go to the movies and not have present day in my face. But when it is, you have to comment on it. So
him and Mark have severe TDS. Like that's not even hyperbole. It's severe TDS.
Look, it's one thing. I disagree with the policies, but really it's got to the point where I've seen my friends on the left, they don't disagree with the policy. They hate the people. Yeah. And it's very sad to see. And it's not true on the other side. People on the right, the right don't hate people on the left. They hate the dumb policies that has turned my beloved city of Los Angeles into a garbage dumpster filled with zombies, fentanyl zombies. So, if you would read this, sorry, you were going to say, sorry?
I was going to say the concern is when you have political beliefs and they're so strong that they affect how you do your job. Like, right. And that's a concern that we're seeing is it's affecting writers' jobs, it's affecting producers, it's affecting all of these different people because there's, and it's just as critical of anybody on the right that would do that. If you make something that's really bad, you just go, like, chill a little bit. Cause like, what was the story supposed to be? Not what did you think you should interpret the story as? And that's where the concern definitely comes in. So.
Well, I think people are hypersensitive now, like Thunderbolt Ross in Captain America. He was not Trump. I'm sorry. He was Thunderbolt Ross, a really poorly written character in that movie. A discussion for another time. I don't want to get in a fight. No more, Epic Mike's already here and we got some big fights. No, I love it, Mike. I love it.
We all know it was, and they edited it. All right.
No, I'm just saying, I understand why people read it in this case, it's 100% true. Badger, if you would read through the first part of this story.
Bong Joon-ho is well aware that audiences see Donald Trump and Kenneth Marshall, the egomaniacal politician played by a delightfully absurd Mark Ruffalo in his new sci-fi comedy Mickey 17. However, no one particular politician inspired the villain. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly alongside his translator, the Academy Award-winning filmmaker behind such cultural touchstones as Parasite and The Host says the film's antagonist was inspired by a mix of many different politicians and dictators that we have seen throughout history.
But the visual, so put a pin there, there are people wearing red hats. It's so clear. He even does the Trump dance.
Was that Mark's choice, do you think?
Mark did that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was his choice again, but okay, continue if you would.
Adapted from Edward Ashton's Mickey 7 novel, Mickey 17 stars Robert Pattinson as Mickey Barnes, a man on the run who haphazardly applies to become an expendable, an endlessly cloned crew member assigned to dangerous, often fatal tasks aboard a space expedition to colonize the ice planet Niflheim. Every time Mickey dies on the job, a new body is regenerated with his memories intact.
Yeah, skip to the paragraph under that one right there.
Here? Okay,
Addressing, I can start here. Okay. The
The
expedition is led by Ruffalo's buffoonish marshal, who bears a striking resemblance to the current U.S. president, not just in his vocal inflection, but mannerisms. He even hosts his own show aboard the ship, I'll bet without the "you're fired" catchphrase. Addressing these perceived parallels, Bong notes that the distressed audiences might be projecting their own fears onto the character. Sure. When we showed the film in Berlin and talked to people from many different countries, it seemed like people were projecting the most stressful political leader onto the character of Marshall, says the filmmaker. Bong also notes that the significance of Marshall's wife, Gwen, his equally outlandish right-hand woman, played by Toni Collette. Here he points to more specific figures. They move as a couple, Bong explains. To me, that was quite important. So think about the, I'm not going to try that one. Thank you. Couple from Romania and the Marcos couple from the Philippines. It's always very uncanny when directors move as couples. Makes them even more ridiculous and more terrifying. And it's true love that the characters have. That's what we wanted Kingpin and Vanessa to have. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah,
I think we can stop there, but you want to hear some interesting timing. Let me just share this here. Prime Video this show was shelved. Prime Video is now bringing back The Apprentice.
Bezos. He's Bezos now.
On all 7 seasons of The Apprentice are now available on Prime Video. So this is from Deadline. I think the headline is the story, not much more to it. But this show was effectively shelved, not to see. And now it's back because they see the popularity of Trump. And when you see like even CNN aghast that they've learned that people kind of like what Trump is doing with Doge. They like the look.
Percentages of that 80%.
Yeah, like 80% approval on certain. You could look at many different policies that have been enacted. The policies that the policies are popular, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not. But is this part of the reason this movie bombed? Did people get a sniff of, I don't want to see myself insulted? And look, I'm not a guy wearing a MAGA hat. You know, I have a red hat, actually. It says make movies great again.
You still shouldn't wear that out in public. I worry for you in California.
Yeah, well, whatever. Not in LA, maybe. Not in Beverly, whatever. I actually don't care. I would wear it to troll people. But all I'm saying is, like, is this part of the reason the movie failed? Because people got a whiff and they're tired of, look, if you're someone who wears that hat every day, loves Donald Trump, wouldn't you be tired of being a punching bag in the media, being mischaracterized as stupid? Like, it's insulting.
Well, let me ask you this. Would the movie still be as bad if he wasn't a Trump allegory?
Yep. I think so. I actually
okay. Then that for me, that's it. It's just a bad movie, and I have no intention of spending my money.
I don't think it wouldn't be different. It wouldn't be fundamentally different if it wasn't Trump.
I think the problem is allegories aren't supposed to be so heavy-handed and didactic.
Oh, I agree. Right. I think it's dumb as shit.
You know, I mean, an allegory. Look, like you guys brought up the Twilight Zone. One of the great things about, and even Star Trek at its best, was allegorical. You know, you go into the Twilight Zone, or you go into the dark reaches of outer space to find very human stories that are allegorical or analogous to what's happening on Earth. I mean, you couldn't put a story on a TV show about Vietnam on Earth, but you set it in a second season episode called The Private Little War, where the villagers are being armed by the Klingons and the hill people are being armed by the Federation. And suddenly that's not about Vietnam, that's in space. And then network standards and practices let it go through. And while some were better than others, let that be your last battlefield where somebody's white on one side and black on the other, and another person's white on this side and black on this side. That's heavy-handed, not good allegory.